I never really grew up in the church. It wasn't our family dynamic. It wasn't our priority. So when we were invited to Pursuit when I got into 7th grade, it was just me and my mom, and we instantly fell in love. We loved the people and we loved the atmosphere, and we just felt really at home even just the first time that we came here. And slowly we got my dad and my brother to start coming, which was crazy for our family. And so I started coming to small groups. I met some really cool people that I'm still friends with today. And I got baptized probably about 3 months after I started coming here. But I didn't really know God. I just thought that's what you have to do when you get baptized, but I was wrong. And so at the end of 7th grade, I got into some trouble, and it kind of caused my underlying anxiety and depression to come to the surface because I had nothing else to focus on. And so in the beginning of 8th grade, it got so bad to the point where I didn't think I could really keep going, and I was just ready to give up. And it actually got to the point where I wrote out my goodbye letter and I was ready to end everything. I got a text from my best friends, Tristan Nugget, and it was something along the lines of "Hey Sabryn, I love you," and it just gave me something to fight for. I was like, okay, somebody really does see you're struggling and they're there for you. And so I continued on with 8th grade. I got into a relationship and I let that consume me instead of God. And so it was going well until that broke off, and it really crushed me, and I felt really alone, and I didn't understand why God would let me feel that way. And I went to Forward probably 3 days later, somewhere around that time, and it was an amazing atmosphere like Forward always is, but I did exactly what John and Jen told us not to do, and I left Forward and that feeling of love and God in Georgia. So when we came back and we went on our summer break, I continued on living my life the way I had before. And in the beginning of 9th grade, I had some issues. So January of this year, I was finally diagnosed with depression and anxiety after 3-4 years of dealing with it. And I had to start facing those suicidal thoughts that I'd been, thinking for so long. And it really did crush me, finally letting the weight of it hit me. And so when I started going to therapy, I knew that wasn't going to help me, but I knew I had to get to God, and I just didn't know how. So for a little while, I kind of did the God thing, went to church, but then I, yet again, just let high school and people take over my life. And in May of this year, shortly after the whole virus and everything like that hit, I took a lot of time to really focus on myself and all the issues that I had been having instead of other people. And it made me realize that meds and therapy and things like that weren't going to hurt me, but they also weren't going to help me the way that I needed to be helped. So I kind of started feeling okay, you actually have to get to God now before it literally crushes you. And so in September, I ended a relationship. I broke off some friendships that were leading me away from God, and I got really involved with the camera team and everybody at Pursuit, and I finally let the people love me that I've been trying to, and it did bring a lot of joy into my life. And so later on, just trying to do the God thing, but it was really hard because I hadn't felt that godly feeling until October 21st, and it was the second song of worship, and I had this weird feeling all day, really happy, and I just wasn't used to that. It wasn't how my life usually goes. And so it was the second song, and I finally felt that just overcoming feeling of God putting his hand on you and you're saved, I guess. And so after that, I told the entire small groups, all the girls, about my story, and it had everyone in tears, which just it lets you feel that like you're helping someone and it like you are really loved. And I'd finally told Tristan that he really did. That single text saved my life. And so I decided to film this video because I think it could help someone's life in a little way, just like that text did.